Hey everyone, I'm Joanne Smith and welcome to Joanne's Corner. In today's tutorial, we're going to be making a log cabin quilt block. This tutorial makes a quilt block that is approximately 12¼ inches by 12¼ inches, and I just trimmed mine down to 12 inches by 12 inches. For this project, you're going to need your basic quilting supplies, and you're going to need some strips of fabric that are coordinating colors. And here are the size strips that you need to cut from your fabric. You can use a jelly roll that's already cut in the pre-cut strips, and you just have to adjust the lengths, or you can just do fat quarters and cut strips out of that. First, we're going to start out with our 2½ inch by 2½ inch squares. We have 2 of them, and we're going to put down the first one, and we want this one to be up here above it. So we're going to flip this down and put our right sides together and take it to our sewing machine and sew a 1/4 inch seam right across through here. Now we're going to open up our pieces and we're going to press it on the back, and you can just press it to the left or to the right and flip it back over and press the front. Now we're going to add our 2½ inch by 4½ inch pieces, and while we're making this, we're going to be going in a counterclockwise direction. So we went here and we went up, and now we're going to put one on this side. So you can just pick whichever one that you want to put, and we want to put it right sides together on this side, and then take it to our sewing machine and do a 1/4 inch seam right up through here. Now we're going to open this, and we're going to flip it over and press the back. And you can press it to whichever side that you want, left or right, because we don't have any seams to line up, so it doesn't matter which way that you do that. And I like to take my iron and go from right to left and just press that out good. Okay, so we're working in counterclockwise direction. So we started here, we went here, here, and now our next piece will go right down here. So we're just going to take this one, flip it right sides together, and sew right along this edge with a 1/4 inch seam. Now we're going to open this one, we're going to flip it over, and we're going to press this one. And then flip it over to the front and do the same. I like to press from the inside out, push that seam out. Okay, so now we're going to add the 2½ inch by 6½ inch pieces. And going in a counterclockwise direction, our next one will be put right over here. And we're just going to put that right sides together and take it to our sewing machine and sew a 1/4 inch seam right down through here. Now we're going to open this up and flip it over. I'm going to press outward and flip it over and press outward again from the left to the right. Okay, now we're going to add our next block, and we start here, counterclockwise motion. So our next block will be up here at the top. And just do this the same way, right sides together, and sew a 1/4 inch seam right across the top. Now we're going to open this up, flip it over, and just press and flip it over and press it on the front. And now we're ready to add our next blocks. And these are the 2½ inch by 8½ inch blocks. So we're going to do our circle again, counterclockwise. So our next block will be over here on this side. And you can just pick whichever block that you want, whatever color. Put it right sides together on this side, and then sew a 1/4 inch seam right down through here. Our next block will go down here at the bottom and do the same method. Right sides together, 1/4 inch seam. Okay. And now we're going to add the 2.5 inches by 10.5 inch blocks or strips. And just start back in the middle, go around with your counterclockwise motion, and we'll be adding over here on the right. So just take your piece, flip it right sides together, so a 1/4 inch seam right down through here, and then bring it back and press it on both sides. Okay, so start at the beginning again and do our counterclockwise motion. Our next strip will go up here at the top. So we just put it right sides together. So a 1/4 inch seam right along through here, bring it back and press it on both sides. Now it's time to add our last strip to our block, and this one is 2.5 inches by 12.5 inches. And we're going to put this over here on this side. And we start here, go around, and then that makes us end up right over here. So put this strip right sides together, so a 1/4 inch seam right down through here, bring it back and press it on both sides. And after we get all of our blocks sewn together, it should look something like this. We do have some wonky edges, so what I'm going to do is just trim this down to a 12 inch by 12 inch block. And that's how you make the log cabin quilt block. If you've enjoyed my tutorial, please like my video and subscribe to my channel. And we'll see you soon.